Hello students, in this video of ours, we are going to do the third kingdom of R.H. Whitaker's 5 kingdom classification, that is fungi. Now fungi they can be unicellular, they can be multicellular. Most of them are multicellular, but few very rarely are unicellular as well. For example, yeast. And here the mode of nutrition is saprophytic. Saprophytic means they are depending on dead and decayed material for their as food for their survival. And at the same time, they can be parasitic also. Parasitic means they are harming a living host for their food. So they can be parasitic. All of them are heterotrophic, and many of them are saprophytic, but many of them are parasitic as well. So they are parasitic and saprophytic. And if we see their morphology, there is a vast variety of their morphology. Means the external structure of these fungi are very different. They are different from each other in their external appearance, and that is morphology. So the third kingdom of Whitaker's 5 kingdom classification is fungi. Now the fungi constitute a unique kingdom of heterotrophic organisms. Heterotrophic means they are not able to synthesize their own food. They are depending on others for their food. That's why they are heterotrophic. Their mode of nutrition is heterotrophic. And in heterotrophic, many of them are saprophytic, and some of them are parasitic as well. So in heterotrophic, they are either saprophytic, that means they are depending on dead and decay material for their food, or they are parasitic. That means they are depending on their living host for their food. So they show a great diversity in morphology. Morphology is the external appearance. So if you see the fungus, you will find different kinds of fungus. External appearances different of different fungus. The fruiting bodies are different, the hyphae are different. So if you see them externally, they look very different from each other. So there is a great diversity in their morphology and as well as in their habitat. Their habitat is also different. Some of them are surviving in aquatic habitat, some of them are living on a damp wood, some of them are living in a dead and decayed material. So their habitats are also different. Most fungi are heterotrophic and absorb soluble organic matter from dead substances. Because they are depending for their food on dead and decaying material, that's why they are called saprophytes. So this mode of nutrition is called saprophytic mode of nutrition. And those that depend on living plants and animals for their food, they are called parasites. And parasites means they are harming the host and they are depending on the host for their food. Another mode of nutrition which is also found in fungus is symbiotic mode of nutrition. In symbiotic mode of nutrition, they are staying with other organisms, and there is a mutual consent between two partners and they both are benefiting each other. That is called symbiosis relationship. That is called symbiotic mode of nutrition. So fungus, they also live as symbionts and they live in association with algae. So when they are with the algae, they are called lichens. Lichens are what? The symbiotic association of algae with fungus. So algae is the partner who is undergoing the photosynthesis and preparing food for the fungus as well as for algae. So algae is preparing food, and at the same time, the fungus is absorbing important minerals and nutrients from the soil for the algae. Fungus is absorbing water for the algae. Fungus is giving shelter to the algae. So they both are mutually benefiting each other, and that kind of nutrition is called symbiotic association. And the symbiotic association of algae and fungus is called lichen. So when you see the lichen, you will know, you cannot find out two different partners. You will see that it is one thing. You cannot differentiate that there are two different things in that. Lichen is such a close association of algae and fungus. And lichen is also an indicator for pollution, because if there is pollution, to find out whether the pollution is there in the surrounding or not, lichens are very good indicators. Because if lichens are growing anywhere, that means there is no pollution in that surrounding. Lichens are indicator for pollution. Lichens cannot grow in a surrounding where there is pollution. So lichens are growing only in places where there is no pollution. So they are very good indicators for pollution as well. The another kind of symbiotic association of fungus is with the roots of higher plants, especially gymnosperms. And that association is called mycorrhiza. So in mycorrhiza also, the fungus is taking the food from the roots, and it is providing the minerals, essential minerals to the roots. It is providing, it is absorbing water and essential minerals for the roots of the higher plants. So this type of symbiotic association of fungus with roots of higher organisms, with roots of higher plants, that is called mycorrhiza. So lichens and mycorrhiza, these two are the symbiotic associations of fungus with other organisms, algae or roots of the plants, and they are mutually benefiting each other. So we can say that there are three types of mode of nutrition in fungus. One is they all are heterotrophic. So no fungus is autotrophic. They are all are heterotrophic, but in heterotrophic also, one is three types of modes of nutrition in fungus. They all are heterotrophic, but in heterotrophic also, some of them are saprophytic, some of them are parasitic, and some of them are in a symbiotic relationship with the algae or with the roots of the higher plants. So these are the modes of nutrition in fungus. Now, if we see the reproduction in fungus, that is also quite complicated, because here you will be producing by vegetative means. In vegetative means, that means there is no special structure for asexual reproduction. Here the reproduction is asexual only, but why we are saying by vegetative means? Because no special asexual structure is formed for the asexual reproduction. The vegetative means reproduction is taking place in fungus by fragmentation. That means the hypha is divided into different fragments, and each fragment is capable of giving rise to new fungus. Then there is fission. Fission is the breaking down into two, and then both of them can give the new fungus. Then there is budding. Budding is present in yeast, which is the unicellular fungus, and budding is one bud will come out, a protrusion from the, it will be protruded from the cell, and when in size, and when it is fully grown, it will get detached from the body of the parent cell, and then it can form a new cell. So by vegetative means, the reproduction takes place by fragmentation, fission, or budding. In asexual reproduction, there are special structures which are formed in a special body, and that body is called sporangioscores. So sporangioscores are the thing where the sporangiums are there, where the spores are formed. And these spores can be called conidia. They are zoospores, they are sporangioscores. The name are different in different types of classes of the fungi. And the sexual reproduction is also taking place in fungi, and sexual reproduction is taking place again by the special kind of spores, which are called oospores, ascospores, basidiospores. So oospores, ascospores, and basidiospores are the spores which are by mode of which the sexual reproduction in fungus is taking place. As I told you, there is a variety of morphology, there is a variety of mode of nutrition, there is a variety of asexual and sexual and vegetative means of reproduction, and so this can be divided. For our convenience, we should be dividing it into different classes to study them well. So the classes in which the fungus has been divided is Phycomycetes. Mycetes is the word which is given for the mycelium, and mycelium is what? Mycelium is the hypha. So if when we discuss the structure, I'll let you know that there are two different structures, hyphae and the fruiting body. What we see about the soil surface is the fruiting body. Like for a very common example is bread mold. You must have seen bread mold in your houses. If you keep the bread for some days and some moisture is there, green patches occur on that bread. So that is the bread mold. And if you see the bread mold with the magnifying glass or even with the naked eyes, you will be able to see some rounded structure, fruiting bodies, and some thread-like structures, which are called hyphae. So this hyphae are called, the network of hyphae is called mycelium. So that's why they are called Phycomycetes, Ascomycetes, Basidiomycetes, and Deuteromycetes. So these are the classes in which fungus is being divided. Now we will study them one by one. Phycomycetes. Phycomycetes are the members are found in the aquatic habitats and on decaying wood. When the wood of the trees is decaying in moist and damp places, there you can find Phycomycetes, or as obligate parasites. What is obligate parasite? Obligate parasite is the parasite which requires a specific host to complete its life cycle. That means this fungus, which are obligate parasite, they require a specific host. So in the presence of that specific living host only, they will be able to complete their life cycle. So they are obligate parasites as well as they are saprophytes, these Phycomycetes. Now the mycelium, as I told you, two structures you can see, the thread-like structure which is called hyphae, and the network of hyphae is called mycelium, and the fruiting body. So here in Phycomycetes, the mycelium is aseptate, because these four classes which we have made of this fungus, that is based on the structure of their hyphae, structure of their mycelium, mode of reproduction, and mode of nutrition. So on that basis, they have been divided into these four classes. So here in Phycomycetes, the mycelium is aseptate. Aseptate means no separation is there, no compartmentalization is there. The mycelium, the hypha is continuous. There is no compartment in the mycelium, and it is koinocytic. Koinocytic means many nucleus are present in the cytoplasm. So it is the nucleus are floating in the cytoplasm, and there is no compartment, no separation, no compartmentalization of that mycelium. So that mycelium is called aseptate. Lot many new terms are coming, so please keep on noting down each and every term. Mycelium, hypha, fruiting body, saprophytic, then symbiotic, parasite, obligate parasite, aseptate, koinocytic. These all are the keywords. Keep on writing them in your notebook and then explain them afterwards. So koinocytic means the nucleus is present in the cytoplasm and the hypha is not divided. Hypha, the compartments are not being formed. It is a continuous hypha, and that is called koinocytic. Now here in Phycomycetes, Asexual reproduction is taken place by a special kind of spores which are called zoospores. The names are different. Zoospore is the spore for the asexual reproduction in Phycomycetes. This zoospore is motile. Motile means it is capable of moving. So it is a motile zoospores. It can move from one place to another place. Or by aplanospores. Now these aplanospores are non-motile. They are fixed. They cannot move. They are present at one place only. So they are non-motile spores by which the asexual reproduction is taking place in Phycomycetes. Now, some common examples of Phycomycetes are Mucor, Rhizopus. Rhizopus is the bread mold which you see in your houses. So, Rhizopus, the bread mold, is an example of Phycomycetes. And Albugo. Albugo is the parasitic fungi on mustard. So, it is an obligate parasite because it requires only mustard to complete its life cycle. That's why it is called obligate parasite. This is Mucor. So these round structures which you can see are the fruiting bodies, and this network of thread is mycelium. Ascomycetes. Now, Ascomycetes, they are also called Saccomycetes, and Ascomycetes are mostly multicellular because many of them are multicellular, and rarely they can be unicellular as well. Unicellular fungus is yeast, and yeast is Saccharomyces, that is called Saccharomyces. So yeast is a unicellular fungus, and Penicillium is the multicellular fungus. They are, Penicillium, you know, the antibiotic, this is being formed from this fungus only. So they are saprophytic, decomposers. Decomposers means they are converting the organic matter into simple inorganic substances for nutrient cycling. So they are very, very important. They are playing a very important role in the nutrient cycles in the atmosphere. So without them, the cycling cannot take place in the atmosphere. So they are saprophytic, decomposers, parasitic, and another new term is coming which is coprophilous. What is coprophilous? Coprophilous are the fungus which are growing on dung, the waste material, the excreta. So when the fungus is growing on dung, that is called coprophilous fungus. Coprophilous means they are growing on dung. And mycelium here. Now see the difference between mycelium of the previous this thing and the mycelium of Ascomycetes. Ascomycetes is having the mycelium which is branched. That means the thread-like structure has got separation, is branched. So this branch, and septate. Septate means separation. So mycelium is branched, many branches you will find, and it is septate. So two terms are there, aseptate hyphae and septate. Aseptate means without the compartmentalization, and septate means with the in previous class, that is Phycomycetes. Phycomycetes, the fungus was aseptate, and here the fungus and the mycelium is septate. In Ascomycetes, the mycelium is septate, and this is the example, Penicillium. Now, Basidiomycetes. Now, these are commonly known forms of Basidiomycetes are mushrooms, because you know mushrooms, many mushrooms are edible as well. We are eating them. So, mushrooms, bracket fungi, or puffballs, they are called by these names. They grow in soil, on logs and tree stumps, and in living plants' body. When they are growing on the soil, on logs, that means they are in the damp, moist places, and they are depending on the dead and decay material for their food. When they are living in when they are growing in a living plant bodies, then they are present as parasites. Their mode of nutrition is parasitic. So as parasites, they are present in the living plant bodies, and they are causing the diseases in the plants, because parasitic mode is what? When you are harming the host. So they are causing the diseases, rust and smuts. These are the diseases which are caused in the plants due to these parasitic fungus. Now here the mycelium is branched and septate, as it was the case of Ascomycetes. It is branched, the network of hyphae is there, and it is septate. Septate means there is compartmentalization in the mycelium. And some common members are agaricus. Agaricus is the mushroom. This is the mushroom. You must have seen mushroom. Now these days in monsoon, you go out, go and see any tree, you will find some mushrooms there. All mushrooms are not edible. Only few mushrooms are edible, but you will find these mushrooms on the logs of the wood. And Stilegum, that is causing the smut, and there is Puccinia, that is causing the rust. So the fungus which is causing rust and smut are the diseases which are caused in the plant bodies where these fungus are living as a parasite. Then Deuteromycetes. Now Deuteromycetes, they are also called imperfect fungi. Why they are called imperfect fungi? Because only the asexual or vegetative phases of these fungi are known. But afterwards, the sexual forms were also discovered. And when the sexual forms of these fungi were discovered, the biologists, the scientists, they have given them the place in the different classes. It can be Ascomycetes, it can be Basidiomycetes, it can be Phycomycetes, depending on the structure of the spore, which is helping in the sexual reproduction. So that's why they are called imperfect fungi. Saprophytes or parasitic, while a large number of them are decomposers of litter. Litter is what? The dung, the waste material, and help in mineral cycling. So they are they are playing very vital role in the mineral cycling. And some examples are Alternaria, Collectotrichum, and Trichoderma. So these are the examples of Deuteromycetes, which are also called imperfect fungi. Now discuss this lichen also. Lichen is symbiotic association of fungus with algae. So when there is symbiotic, when algae and fungus, they are staying together and mutually they are benefiting each other, that association is called lichen. And the algal component, that is the algae which is present in the lichen, is called phycobiont. Phycobiont is the algal component and the fungal component is called mycobiont. This is very important, 1 mark questions. The algal component of lichen is called phycobiont and the fungal component of lichen is called mycobiont. Algal component is autotrophic and fungal component is mycobiont, and that is heterotrophic. Algae prepare food for the fungi and fungi provide shelter and absorb minerals, nutrients and water for its partner. So close is their association that if one saw a lichen in nature, one would never imagine that they had 2 different organisms within them. If you see lichen, you cannot find out that there are 2 different organisms which are present in this, because you will find them as one only. And they are very good pollution indicators because they do not grow in polluted areas. So that is the specialty of lichen. So we can use this lichen as a pollution indicator. Wherever the lichen is growing, that means that place is free from any kind of pollution. So this